The Mughals ruled India for over 300 years. From Babur, Akbar, and Shah Jahan to Bahadur Shah Zafar, many Mughal rulers governed India from the throne in Delhi. However, there are still many questions that remain unanswered. Why did the Mughals come to India? How did they establish their empire in a land full of Rajputs and Marathas? How did foreign powers manage to rule India for such a long period? What is the real story behind the Mughals? Let's take a closer look at this in detail. If Babur had never come to India, the Mughal Empire would not have been established, and we would have never seen grand monuments like the Red Fort or the Taj Mahal. Babur's real name was Zahir-ud-Din Muhammad, and he was born on February 14th, 1483, in Fargana, which is part of modern-day Uzbekistan. Babur was a descendant of both Timur and Genghis Khan. At just 12 years old, Babur began to rule the kingdom of Fargana. This did not sit well with some of Babur's relatives and uncles, who conspired to remove him from the throne. Babur was ousted from Fargana and Samarkand. Years later, in 1504, Babur captured the Afghan capital of Kabul and established his rule there. However, Babur was not content with Kabul. He wanted to expand his empire. He knew that to do so, he would need wealth. And at that time, India was the wealthiest region in the world, often referred to as the Golden Sparrow. In 1525, Babur began planning his invasion of India. His goal was to conquer the country and rule it. At that time, Ibrahim Lodi ruled over India, and Rajputana controlled Rajasthan, while the Vijayanagar Empire was flourishing in the south. Ibrahim Lodi was eccentric, and to remove him from the throne, his uncle Alauddin Lodi and the governor of Punjab, Dalit Khan, invited Babur to invade. Babur, eager to seize the opportunity, quickly set out with his army for India. On December 15th, 1525, Babur crossed the Sindhu River and began his conquest of the Punjab region. Babur's army had only about 12,000 soldiers, but he also had cannons and gunpowder, which were new technologies in battle. The Battle of Panipat was the first battle in India to see the use of gunpowder. Babur was a skilled military commander with vast experience in warfare, and his strategies were brilliant. On the other hand, Ibrahim Lodi had an army of over 100,000 soldiers, including infantry, elephants, horses, and carts. Despite the vast difference in numbers, Babur remained fearless, and he is still remembered as a great warrior in Afghanistan and Uzbekistan. The Battle of Panipat took place about 60 kilometers from Delhi and is now located in Haryana. Babur, with his smaller but well-organized army, waited for the Lodi forces to attack first. He had already prepared a trench in the enemy's territory to limit the enemy's expansion and make it easier for his forces to target the Lodi army. Babur's army held its ground, despite some of his soldiers urging him to retreat. Babur refused, declaring that they would not leave without conquering Delhi. Babur had a well-planned battle strategy. His scouts were positioned at the front to gather information about the enemy's movements. His army was organized in a way that allowed the soldiers to easily fight from behind bullock carts, which were connected by leather belts. The soldiers carried strong bows that could shoot arrows up to 600 meters, and every arrow created a force of 4,000 pounds. Meanwhile, Lodi's army, though larger, struggled against Babur's tactics. The Lodi army's elephants were initially used to crush the enemy, but they were startled by the sound of the cannons and began trampling their own soldiers. This created chaos, and within hours, Babur's army gained the upper hand. After several hours of battle, Ibrahim Lodi was killed, and his decapitated head was presented to Babur. Following the victory, Babur distributed the wealth he had seized among the people. As a result, the people of India honored him with the title of Calendar. In 1526, at the age of 43, Babur established the Mughal Sultanate in Delhi. However, after his victory, the Rajputs continued to oppose him. Babur fought 3 major battles after Panipat: the Battle of Kanwa, the Battle of Chunderi, and the Battle of Kagargar. Babur's son, Humayun, also faced struggles during his reign. Humayun's brothers, who were eager to seize power, conspired against him. Humayun eventually lost his throne to Shah Suri after the Battle of Bilgram in 1540 and was forced into exile. During this time, Humayun lived in Sindh, where he married Hamida Banu and had a son, Muhammad Jalaluddin Akbar. After 15 years of exile, Humayun regained the throne of Delhi in 1555. However, he tragically died the same year after falling down the stairs of his library. After Humayun's death, the Mughal Empire faced turmoil and King Hemu attacked Delhi. At the time, Akbar, Humayun's son, was only 12 years old, and his army was led by the loyal general Bairam Khan. In 1556, Bairam Khan led Akbar's forces to victory over Hemu in the Second Battle of Panipat, and Akbar ascended the throne at the age of 13. Akbar was a secular ruler who won the hearts of the people. In 1568, he captured Chittor, the Rajput stronghold, after a long siege. Over time, Akbar expanded his empire, and by 1605, he had solidified his control over much of India. Despite his lack of formal education, Akbar was deeply interested in architecture, and he oversaw the construction of the stunning Fatehpur Sikri, which, despite its eventual abandonment, showcased his vision. After Akbar's death in 1605, his son Jahangir took over. Jahangir, unlike his father, was known for his cruelty and indulgence. He married 20 times, and his favorite wife was Nur Jahan. During his reign, the East India Company was allowed to establish a presence in India. Jahangir's son, Shah Jahan, became the next emperor in 1627. Shah Jahan's reign saw a golden age of Mughal architecture, with the construction of the Taj Mahal, the Red Fort, and the Jama Masjid, among other monumental buildings. However, in 1639, Shah Jahan's empire faced an invasion from the Persian ruler Nader Shah, who defeated him in battle and took back the peacock throne. As Shah Jahan grew older, he handed over power to his sons. His eldest son Darshurko was beloved by the people, but was defeated in a battle for the throne by his younger brother Aurangzeb in 1658. Aurangzeb imprisoned his father in Agra Fort and killed his brothers to secure his reign. Aurangzeb was one of the most controversial Mughal rulers, known for his strict policies and intolerance towards Hindus. He imposed heavy taxes on Hindus, demolished temples, and persecuted non-Muslims. His reign faced multiple rebellions, including from the Marathas and Rajputs. After a lengthy and brutal reign, Aurangzeb died in 1707, and the Mughal Empire began its decline. After Aurangzeb's death, several short-lived rulers took the throne, with Bahadur Shah Zafar being the last Mughal emperor. His reign ended in 1857 during the Indian Rebellion, which marked the end of the Mughal Empire. Bahadur Shah Zafar was exiled to Myanmar, where he died in 1862. Thus, the once mighty Mughal Empire came to a tragic end.